Milwaukee Police Association endorses Trump. Activists push back. July 17, 2024, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Vice President nominee Senator J.D. Vance speaks at the Republican National Convention. The Milwaukee Police Association, MPA, has endorsed Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, following a visit Friday by Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance. In brief remarks to the Police Association, Vance thanked Milwaukee officers for providing security last month during the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where, he said, he never felt safer. He then focused on undocumented immigrants as a cause of crime in Wisconsin and other states. When you hear Republicans say every state is a border state, that is not just a slogan, Vance said, that is a sad reflection of the reality that we have drug cartels operating about as far north in this country as we possibly could. He denounced the policies that have come from the Harris administration that make it harder for the police to do their job, including providing shelter and aid to immigrants who shouldn't be here. Projecting a Trump victory in November, Vance said police officers' jobs are about to get a lot easier. As the union and bargaining entity for the Milwaukee Police Department, the MPA represents many Milwaukee officers. MPA President Alex Ayala called the union the force behind the force, adding that the importance of police officers extends far beyond the uniform and badge. It is about their commitment to serving and protecting us all. Ayala, who succeeded Andrew Wagner as MPA president, said in a press release that officers in Milwaukee face a variety of challenges, including low bail for dangerous criminals. Other problems for the police, according to Ayala, include the need for an honest and concerted effort to pursue those offenders wanted on bench warrants, low officer morale in an often anti-police society, rushes to judgment in officer-involved incidents, not to mention the staffing crisis that requires officers to spend even more time away from their families. Ayala claimed that some areas of the city will at times go with only one squad to patrol an entire area, 44,000 citizens. As squads get pulled to other parts of the city to address high-priority calls, which can often be more violent in nature, requiring more officers. The MPA declared that putting Trump and Vance in the White House will help resolve the problems the police union is reporting. Addressing these issues isn't political. It truly is a matter of life and death to Milwaukee, Ayala said in a press statement. The MPA generally expresses pro-law enforcement stances on policy and politics. Trump fashioned himself as a law and order president from 2016 to 2020. When protesters took to the streets in cities across the country to protest the killing of George Floyd by Minneapolis police, Trump called on law enforcement to crack down on the demonstrations, floated deploying the U.S. military to quell the uprisings, and, according to Trump's Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, inquired about having police shoot the protesters. In the January 6 attack on the U.S. Capitol, hundreds of Trump supporters attempted to stop the certification of President Joe Biden's victory in the 2020 election. After the attack, police officers who directly experienced the violent attack voiced their opposition to Trump and their support for Biden. But across the country, other police remained loyal to the former president. In Milwaukee, battles over police policy have been going on since 2020. For over a year, the police union railed against a new policy passed by the Fire and Police Commission, which required the release of video of officer-involved shootings and in-custody deaths to victims' families within 48 hours and released to the public within 15 days. The MPA, along representatives from the Milwaukee Area Investigative Team, MAIT, which investigates officer-involved incidents, argued that releasing the video would compromise police interests in those incidents. These activist groups misuse important words like transparency and trust to push their agenda, but at the same time they reject factual data from previous community briefings. Then MPA President Andrew Wagner said in a 2023 press statement, instead of waiting for an investigation to be completed, their goal appears to be setting their own narrative. We have all seen where false narratives have been put out into the public to incite riots. These false narratives have destroyed cities, and when the truth finally comes out, the damage has been done. Later, the union filed a lawsuit against the video release policy, freezing its implementation for months. As the Republican National Convention, RNC, came to a close, the union dropped the lawsuit, with Wagner calling the legal effort fruitless.